Similar to the if conditions and nested if conditions, we can develop nested while loops. This isn't a new syntax in Python. It is just utilizing the block of code to develop more and more complex code. So we can have a nested loop inside the loop, inside the loop, inside the loop, and so on. So let's see some example for that. We know that if we would like to sum the numbers from 1 to n, we can do that, for example, using just a for loop. But what about the following? We see that a lot in programming competition style. You say like write a program that reads integer t for t test cases. For example, when you are going to read here 5, you will be asked for 5 test cases. Then read t numbers, 1 per line. So we are going to read the 4, 5, 6, 2, 0. For each number printed, sum from 1 to n, so something like that. Sum from 1 to 5 equal 15. So when you think about that, we need to do something that iterate on the number of test cases, which is going first to read 5, then reading 5 numbers. In each one of these test cases, we will read a number representing n to print the sum from 1 to n. There is no magic. I would like you, with what you learned so far, to just sit down and write a code for that. Let's see the code. I'm going first to read t for number of test cases. Then I'm going to iterate on t greater than 0. Then put here in the end t minus equal 1 to keep decreasing it. You can do it also otherwise and keep incrementing it. Now inside every single test case, I'm going to read a new number n, and then develop my code to do the sum from 1 to n, which is this while loop as we did it before. By doing that, we are done with 2 nested loops. Let's take another example. You are given a number n, okay, it's integer, and you have to print a left angle triangle that have n rows like that. So for example, if the input is 5, you will print 5 rows in this style. If you thought about it, it seems we have to loop 5 times so that we print every row, and every row we have to print a bunch of asterisks which is relevant to the current row. In row number 1 we print 1 star, row number 2 we print 2 stars, row number 3, and so on. Also, with what you learned, you can develop such a triangle by yourself. Give yourself a good trial. Here is the code. We first start with reading n, representing the number of rows. We are going to start to iterate from 1 to n using variable row. So row equal 1, row less than or equal n, and row plus equal 1. This is the body of the first loop. In the second loop, we are going to utilize the row ID, which is 1 based here from 1 to 5, and every time we are going to have another counter starting from 1 and going to the row itself. So for example, in the first step, row will be 1. So this while loop will work one time only with an asterisk. And then we are going to print a new line. Then in the second time, the row will have value 2. So this internal while loop or the inner while loop will work for 2 steps. And the third time it works 3 times, and so on. That's all.